Hello, I've recently been getting a lot of Revan merch at GameStop.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm wondering
the
what
statue.
your opinion is of when we will see Revan in any Star Wars anything.
Well, they canceled the remake or something. I don't know. They canceled it. / it's being worked on. / you're an idiot if you think it's still being worked on. / they announced yesterday that it's being worked on. Just pick one of those and you might be right at some point.
They announced yesterday something? That'd be great. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
No, I've been very sad to. I was so hyped for that little teaser of Revan coming out. I think you and I both were like, "Oh shoot," because like that was a game that I played some of, but I never really beat it. Like I played it like 3 times, and each time I got further and further. But something always happened. There was I borrowed someone's Xbox and I had to return it, and I never got to finish the game. And then I had an Xbox and it got stolen from me, and I didn't get to finish the game. And then I think I tried it on PC or 360 at some point in the future again, and I forget what happened. I still never finished it, but I got almost all the way there. Because there's 5-6 planets that open up, and first time I got to 1 or 2, and then next time I got to 3 of them, and then next time I got to I got 5. I only got 1 more planet to go to, and then I just never finished it. So I was excited for that. I wanted to see more.
What's the name of Darth Malik's apprentice that tries to hunt you down in that first game? It's Darth B. I think it starts with a B. But depending on what order you do the planets, he'll confront you on a different planet. So I remember playing that game 2, 3, 4 times, and he confronts me on different planets each time.
Really?
Yeah.
Man,
I can't remember the name. I don't know. I don't have chat up, so I can't see it either if it is there.
I don't remember, but they might let us know.
Darth something.
But it's been, I don't know. It's been so long since I've played it now. I did it at my current house sometime during Blind Wave. There was a May the 4th time that I was just playing I did a 10-hour stream, and every 2 hours I switched to a new Star Wars game or something like that. So I played a little bit of Jedi. What's the last Jedi? It's not Outcast, is it? Jedi Knight?
Jedi Knight. Jedi Academy.
That's it.
Darth Bandon was his name, by the way.
Bandon?
Yeah, just Brandon with no R.
All right. But I played a little bit of that then. I played KOTOR during that time, and I played something else, and I just was swapping games. But I don't know. As far as more Revan.
Boba, I bought the Bastila figure a while ago at GameStop.
Yeah.
And then Aaron sent me they have a Revan too, and I haven't bought that one yet.
Oh, no?
But they go really well and scale really well with Gentle Giant figures that I have a couple of. So.
Gentle Giants, okay.
Mm-hmm. But really cool. I'm glad it's happening. I hate Revan's lightsaber. Sometimes
the hilt.
Sometimes I just have to say that one that has all the 4 corner spikes.
Yeah, it has these
Yeah. I don't often say that I hate a lightsaber.
I would never use it.
But between the Inquisitor lightsaber and that, I truly don't know which one I'd rather use.
I'd rather use Inquisitor saber.
Really?
I feel like I could at least hold it.
Yeah.
Even if I had to just fold the one part down and just fight like this,
one
I'd
hand.
be fine.
Yeah, I get you.
But Revan's saber, it looks like how do I hold it up here? Yep. But all the better for him if it works for him,
I guess. I think he's wrong.
I'd rather just have a little axe on the end or something.
He's one of the most famous Sith Lords in history, and he was a Sith Lord for 2 years.
I mean, but is he a famous Sith Lord?
Yeah.
I guess the Darth Revan kind of thing.
Ask George Lucas when he was going to bring in famous Sith Lords during the Mortis arc. It was going to be Darth Bane and Darth Revan. They were going to appear as ghosts, and Dave Filoni's like, "Well, they can't." I'm like, what do you mean? It's like they can't live on after they die. Isn't that the whole point? Fucking Dave, and they wrote it out.
Well, then we got a Bane, right?
Then we got a Bane. It was gonna be the old version of Bane, which was the cage and the insect armor that he used to have. So he put a. Do you remember this?
I've only read the first book, so I'm trying to remember what all happened.
So Bane has these 2 large insects as his breastplate, and they grow throughout his body. But to make sure they don't suffocate him, he has a cage around his head.
Yeah,
that was the old version of Bane. And now there's there's a Mark Hamill samurai one. Yeah, it was in the Drew Karpyshyn books.
Yeah.
That was a concept before those books too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
So I'm not really sure where it's from. Maybe one of the old the tabletop RPG stuff surprisingly has a lot of weird legend stuff in it because that was canon, but it's just guys making up entries, So it's kind of fun to raid those old things.
But I'd love to see the KOTOR game get a remake, especially if that. My assumption was always that they were going to release that and maybe start to dabble into the Old Republic, especially since Disney always seemed to whatever the fandom wasn't liking, we pull away from and do something else.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, well, stay away from the prequel stuff. Don't do anything there. Then it's like, well, they don't like the sequel stuff. You know what? Give them a lot more prequel stuff.
I know.
You know, let's do that stuff more.
And Disney just constantly is like, all right, we'll pivot away from that.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, is there anything they won't complain about?
No, there's not.
No.
just try to make good stories. Just do that, and then.
For me, I think the winning formula is like just hire good talent,
Sure.
like hire storytellers that have something to say, and I think they do.
Yeah.
Just sometimes things don't work out, or sometimes a story can be like, for me, like sometimes stories are 100%. I love this, and the person beside me is like, I hated every second of it. That doesn't change how I felt.
Sure.
And me feeling this way doesn't change how you felt. That's art.
I also think like trying to make sure you're getting people who just have that passion for Star Wars. Yeah. Like I think Dave, and then there's been I'm trying to remember some of the other directors and stuff that I've heard stories from where it's like, you know, I grew up the Dark Disciple book, right? Was by George's daughter, wasn't it?
Katie Lucas.
Katie, yeah. And like her little thing at the end was like, oh man, I remember going to the theater and watching Star Wars and being on set and stuff, and there was like this nostalgia and passion for seeing and wanting to add to it.
Dallas Howard.
Bryce
Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
She talks about being, you know, Ron Howard's daughter, and she would like go, like when she was a kid, they'd go to dinner, and it's Ron Howard, George Lucas, and Akira Kurosawa.
Kurosawa? Yeah.
It's Kurosawa, and they're like, you know, she's just listening to them talk about in a galaxy far, far away, that type of stuff.
But like just having some of those, like, you know, like Dave, I feel like has a passion for Star Wars and stuff too, and like trying to make sure there's people there that aren't just like, you know what, having a Star Wars movie would look good on my resume, versus like I want to add to this universe. I
really liked a headline. I didn't read the article because I got to stay away from all Star Wars things, but every once in a while you do see a headline. I saw Leslie Headland, I think is the name of the Acolyte showrunner, talking about in the writer's room. Yes, obviously, like I'm a giant Star Wars fan. She had this thing about like, hey, there was this really cool like expanded universe thing I wanted to include, and like no one told me no. So I did it. Okay,
you know, cool.
That's cool. But she also talked about how important it was for her to make sure that in the writer's room there was a non-Star Wars fan, to make sure to be the barometer. Like, hey, if I don't know anything about anything, does this track?
Sure.
Which I thought, why would you not do that? It's literally, if you're doing a science experiment, you need your control group. You don't want to just market to just people that know what they're doing.
I think you need to have someone like that.
Yeah.
Who can be a barometer for that, and then you need to have someone who is like with the Star Wars lore Bible, where they can be like, okay, well, we can't do this because of this.
Yeah.
But then these people can be like, well, you shouldn't do that because
Sure.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Okay, we better describe it and tell them what it is and stuff. You know, like make sure that they understand it. Because that's the thing you need to do. You need to do it for a new audience because some people have not seen Star Wars, so this may be their first Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about because it used to be your first Star Wars thing was just going to be these 3 movies. That's all there was, you know.
Yeah.
Now, like people may watch Mandalorian having no Star Wars connection to anything.
Definitely. That's definitely going to happen, and that's the beauty of a living mythology.
Yeah, so you need to be able to have all these individual stories and stuff make sense within that, but then maybe have some things in there, too, that just add to the lore for the big Star Wars fans that are wanting to, like, really see where it goes.
You're so right.
I am excited to get...
That's why Church was boring. Same stories.
Was
there a new one? I heard this last year.
Where's the Bible Part 2?
My Catholic priest used to do the same sermon on the same day every year.
Really? Wow. All right. But
I remember like being like 8 or 9, being like, I remember this. Get new material.
Yeah. But I don't know. I love the idea of moving away from the Skywalker eras, right? Like there's like okay, well here's the Skywalker saga. And I love adding more to that time frame, even if it's not directly connected to Skywalker or Anakin, Luke, any of that. But it's also really cool to be able to like the idea of adding to the Force, where the Force comes from and stuff too. I think it's just a neat idea.
And letting storytellers put like their thoughts and feelings and emotions and express them in these stories. I mean, that's the reason this stuff lasts and remains relevant and can, be something for children to look up to and for adults to look back at.
Yeah. Well, and it's like watching Star Wars Visions where like some of those are like really cool, just here's a little story in the galaxy somewhere and it's fun. Yeah. Not all of those are necessarily for me.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see like, well, here's just a story somewhere in the galaxy.
Yep.
No connection at all to Skywalker, Palpatine, Vader, nothing like that.
Perfect example of why I love just like I'll bring in some new people, Have you ever done anything like this before? No? All right, have fun. Star Wars, go. I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Episode 9, but I was just so into another director.
Sure.
Than JJ again.
Yeah. But yeah, Boba, answer, I don't know when we'll see more Revan. I hope to see KOTOR at some point, but...
I completely forgot what question we were answering.
Yeah.
I'm
Revan.
sorry.